am also a representative of Stone Soup. I'm a parent of 3 young children under 5. And I'm here to talk about ensuring equity and access to a quality education. As I look out and see everyone here, I see a lot of parents, I see grandparents, I see children. And I know that everyone here care about ensuring that our children have the best access to education early on. So as we look at education, we talk a lot about the low graduation rates. We talk about the low percentage of children not reading at grade level by 3rd grade. But let's look further. Let's start with our youngest learners and start there, and that we can change that. Research shows time and time again the importance of early education, and yet in the Central Valley, just to give you a little bit of a picture here, out of the 58 counties in California, Fresno ranks 55 in the number of eligible 3 and 4-year-old who are actually enrolled in preschool. 55 out of 58. If you're looking at the different counties in California, a lot of the Central Valley counties rank last. So that's something to be said. We need to look at it and try to change that. I want to give one of our parents, I want her to share a little bit about her thoughts. And she's a parent of our playgroup program, which is a program for children 0 to 3. And I would like her to share her thoughts and her, her experience. And her name is Andrea Torres.
Thank you, Lee. Hello, like Lee said, my name is Andrea Torres, and I'd like to share a story with you. I remember watching my child Santiago a year ago when he was only a year old and being thirsty to find something that would serve him before the age of preschool. I knew how important the first 5 years of life are, since they serve as our foundation, and I wanted him to get the early childhood education he deserved. That is when I began to do my research, and fortunately, I found Stone Soup. This past Monday, I visited his playgroup for the first time since I had enrolled him. I am currently a high school teacher, so my mother has been the one that has been taking him this past year. It was astonishing to see his growth. Santiago went from being a reserved child to a leader and an active member in his classroom. He's now 2 years old and knows how to follow instructions, answer questions, and even sing along to songs using his words and sign language. His growth can also be seen outside of the classroom. I have noticed how much his vocabulary has grown throughout these months. So in reflection, what I learned from this is that we truly are our children's voices. As parents and as caregivers, we are their advocates, which makes it our duty to find the best resources to help us raise these children. And we ask for the elected officials not only to protect the programs we already have, such as Stone Soup, but to also help create new programs like this one, so that other children can also benefit from them, because every child has the right to education. Thank you.
As Andrea had mentioned, there are many parents who do take advantage of this, who do seek. But I am here also to challenge our parents to make sure that you do seek these programs, that you advocate for them. And if they are not available in your county, to make sure and demand for them, because your children deserve the best. And for elected officials, as Andrea had mentioned, we want to make sure that you ensure continued funding for early childhood education. We want to make sure that you outreach to families who traditionally have not used early education programs. And we would hope that you also look at all different aspects, accessibility, outreach, making sure that families are able to afford some of these programs. One of the things I do want to point out is that it's another issue, is that there are some families who don't quite qualify for these programs, but they do not make enough for private care or private programs. So that's another thing to look at and visit as well. I know that there's a lot to touch on, and I will go ahead and leave it at this. And I hope that you've learned a little bit about what we're talking about today. And I hope that you will go ahead as parents and families and community advocates to continue fighting to ensure that all of our children have access to early education programs and education. Thank you so much.